Hey everybody, you're watching Boom Bear Bust. My name is JJ, and today we've got a lot of financial economic news to get caught up on as usual. We've got Bank of America customers out there saying that the funds have basically vanished from their account. They're missing money. There's many different reports across social media. In fact, the Bank of America hashtag was trending, and a lot of people had reports of that. I've also got a video we're going to play here in just a minute, but that's just going to get things kicked off here. We've got a lot of other news to get into, but let's go ahead and get right to that video here.
So I'm a Bank of America and everybody's missing money. I'm also missing money over $1,300, and they're telling me to call customer service. And they keep hanging up on people. This another person here is also missing money. So we're trying to see what's going on. Money's missing today, and we need our money. And they're already telling us to call
Look at all these people waiting in line here at Bank of America.
customer service, and customer service ain't doing nothing about it. So just a heads up, if anybody's experiencing this, please let us know, because this is not right. I'm missing $1,400 from my account, and they're telling me that there is no way they can help us. This guy's missing money too. This other person is missing money too. And you missing money too? There you go. So this is not something that's just one person. This is everybody's happening to them. And this is crazy. This is very crazy. Yes, Bank of America decided to take people's money without their consent. And we're asking what's going on, and they're giving us a runaround. Everybody for the same thing, man. Same thing.
All right, so there you had it. So it wasn't just a lot of people on social media, me reading their posts. It was that video, and you heard the guy. He asked several different people that were also waiting in line at Bank of America, also missing money. So this is just a snapshot of what could happen. And, if it weren't for so many people living paycheck to paycheck, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But most consumers are to the point now where even one day without being able to get money out of an account, they don't have anything out of the system or out of the banking system to be able to make transactions with. And that is, a very big issue. And it's a very big danger. Now, people ask me, why I can talk about the money and the economy nonstop, topics on money, finance, economy, etc. And, I've even had people say, oh, you're obsessed with money and money's the root of all evil. Money dominates you. It's not any of those things. It's just that money has become survival. And we've talked about this before. Name one other living creature where they have to have, digits or paper to be able to not be basically freezing cold, right? Humans, we need shelter. We're not like the animals in the wild where we can make a house anywhere. We need shelter, but yet we're the ones that have to continually pay for our shelter with this money. And frankly, I'm worried about the future of people, with so many people becoming homeless. We're going to talk about the homelessness in San Diego here in just a few minutes. I've got another video to play, and right. So it's not about being obsessed with money. It's about being obsessed with not ending up freezing cold, out in the open somewhere, out in the street somewhere, the sidewalk, who knows, out in a tent, because home prices became so high because inflation became so bad that myself or someone I know or love couldn't afford a home. So yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with trying to get to the bottom of this, trying to figure out what's causing all this, and that's why we dive into these topics every day. The system of money, how we can navigate this, how we can try to maybe even profit from this and come out better on the other side. But things are headed in a very dark and dire direction, in my opinion. And I wish I didn't have to come on here every day and report things like this. But this is the direction that things are going. If things change direction, I'll start reporting different types of news, right? So if most people start paying off their debt and prices come down, the cost of living comes down, homelessness decreases instead of increases, then maybe some of this news will change. But let's get into the next video, still on the topic of homelessness here. And this is just going to be a brief drive down a couple blocks here in San Diego, and it's starting to look like parts of LA. And this is just a small section here, but that's really starting to get kind of scary with all the tents that we're seeing out here. Of course, we've got the cops out there probably harassing the homeless, telling them to go somewhere else. They have no place to go. You saw their whole, let me rewind it a little bit here. sat in the street. Look back here, and you can see a parking lot back there. To me, that looks like a bunch of more tents mixed in with cars. There's probably tents getting in the way of people parking their cars. More as you turn the corner. And it goes on and on. Other blocks look similar. This was one of the ones though that I noticed that had gotten noticeably worse just in the past few months. I remember driving down there and not seeing that 6 or 8 months ago. So things are headed still in the wrong direction. Then people still ask me, why I can report on this stuff. That's because things are getting scary, right? I don't want people I know, the young people in this country, my kids, your kids, just young people in general, having to face that type of life. And some people just look at homelessness and they think it's just a bunch of junkies, but it's not that. It's just that people can have hard luck or hard times and fall on bad luck and a few unexpected expenses with no one else to help them. There's been situations, times in my life where if I wouldn't have had a family member or someone else to help, that I may have been sleeping in my car. I mean, literally. And actually, now that I think about it, when I first moved to California, I actually stayed in my aunt's camper that she had parked. She had so many dogs in her house, and I was allergic. She was going to let me stay there when I first moved out here, and didn't want to be around all those dogs. So I ended up sleeping in her camper for a while until I got a job and got on my feet, got my own place. Right, so it can happen to anybody, young, old. We see senior citizens now, a lot of them really struggling with a small amount of fixed income that a lot of them get versus the cost of living. And just the utility bills are starting to cause a lot of pain. We have some of the highest utility bills out here in San Diego, some of the highest in the country, and costs are going up. Right, you would think with better technology and advancements and research that the cost of things would go down. I mean, just look at electronics. I remember when a high-end electronics unit, just comes out. I remember cases where it was like expensive, several $100s. I remember my first cell phone was a lot more expensive then than it is today. So things can come down in cost if you have ingenuity and the manufacturing of those things gets more efficient. Um, but just too bad we're not seeing that type of thing throughout the economy and all the different things that we have to pay for just to to not suffer through the elements. All right, and back to the video at the beginning of this report today, the Bank of America video. If people didn't have to rely on getting money out of the bank just to make a transaction, then also, it wouldn't be that big of a deal that the bank maybe loses track of the money. It's still a big deal. If a bank loses track of your money, even for a couple minutes, it's kind of a big deal. But for hours and hours and hours, and then the guy, if you heard at the beginning of that video, he said that customer service was hanging up on him. That's just one guy's account. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it was a bad connection. Who knows? But please let me know what you think down in the comments. Were you affected by any outages if you have Bank of America? I haven't had Bank of America for years. I actually worked for Bank of America previously, and I know some people that work for Bank of America, and they do very well financially. Bank of America pays pretty decent, especially if you're up the ladder a little bit there at the company. All right, what else do we have today? Well, we have a CEO out there, the CEO of Unilever, and Alan Jope is basically saying that inflation has not peaked, and that goes against what a lot of other economists and CEOs are saying. They're saying inflation's coming down and it's going to continue to go down. And that type of news or forecast has been used for reasons why the stock market has some green days. Today wasn't so green, but just in the past few months, that was looked at as a bullish thing for the stock market. Oh, look, inflation's coming down; it's peaked. Well, we have this CEO out there, saying that no, it has not peaked, and I tend to agree with him. Also, we have this story out here recently. Inflation isn't coming down without a recession. This is out of Markets Insider, and interest rates will continue to skyrocket. JP Morgan Asset Management Investment Chief said that. So that's what happens when you have a economy that's all pumped up on easy money, people borrowing money, people spending money. Spending money creates jobs. Spending borrowed money creates even more jobs because you could spend money you don't even have. And that creates this illusion of an economic boom. And now things have reversed because, one, you have much harder now to borrow enough money to buy things. Look at the cost of homes still and the higher mortgage rates. people are still priced out of the market for the most part, unless you're someone that's just been sitting in cash waiting for prices to come down. But if you have to depend on financing, you're more priced out now, even with home prices lower than you were a year ago. Also, the second part of that is look at debt levels. Debt levels currently, most people now are in all-time high levels of debt for themselves, for their personal financial situation. And now this mountain of debt under most people, under a mountain of debt, most people anyways, with a higher interest rate environment. So it does not bode very well. So if we wanted to raise interest rates, why didn't we do it when debt was very low? For example, coming out of the financial crisis, when after people filed bankruptcy and things like that, that would have been the time to have higher interest rates to avoid this from happening again. But here we are now at the peak of another economic bubble. A lot of people out there, economists, etc., are calling this the everything bubble because so many things are just seeing huge price distortions. And I don't have all the answers. In fact, I learn a lot from you, my audience here, and your comments down there. Some of you are way smarter than me. Some of you have turned me on to, alerted me to news that I didn't know about. And I really like it when you tell me about what's happening in your local area. I had a commenter here recently say that their neighbor's house has been sitting on the market now for like 4 months, and they only got one offer, and that offer was like $75,000 below the asking price. And so far, sounds like the neighbor hasn't bitten and hasn't taken that offer. So just one sign of many things that are changing. The housing market slow down, prices coming down, higher rates. We've got bankruptcies. We've got auto loan repossessions are going to vehicle repossessions are going to skyrocket this year, unless they come out with some more rabbits out of the hat and new ways to prevent this. We talked in a previous report about how 7.5 million people had to use mortgage forbearance after the 2020 health crisis came out and things got shut down and locked down. And we look back at the peak of the housing bubble. It was only about 2.8 million foreclosures per year. So what we saw in 2020 could have been twice as bad, more than twice as bad as the previous housing bubble, but it was prevented. And it's that type of prevention and manipulation that keeps this ball rolling. But we're headed towards a cliff when you look at people's debt levels and these rising rates. Maybe massive debt forgiveness can maybe prolong this to where we don't see just a huge surge in people defaulting and personal bankruptcies and more homelessness than we already have. So we're going to continue to keep a track on it here. I'm going to be a news hound for you and keep on getting these stories and videos to bring to you. So I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for your support. And thank you for the people giving me tips here and just kind words both. And I want to give a super special shout out and thanks to some of my supporters, people that have given me tips. Maria Rivero, thank you once again. DJ Jojo, thank you very much. And also Gordon Nash, thank you very much. We'll talk to everybody very soon. We're going to wrap this one up. Keep stacking, keep preparing. Bye for now, and big love and peace.